great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. Beyond the world, beyond the children, beyond the ones who make it brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me.
I'm Tavis Smiley, and that is the iconic track, We Are the World. And if you have been around for a few years, let it ride, Miles. If you've been around for a while, you obviously know that song. I'm playing it in part because the guy playing the piano on that is a guy named Greg Phillinganes. Music lovers all know Greg Phillinganes. He's done it with everybody, from Michael to Stevie to Eric Clapton to U2. Don't get me started. I don't know anybody that Greg hasn't played with, as long as they can afford to get Greg Phillinganes in the studio. He ain't cheap, but if you can afford it, you want Greg Phillinganes. Anita Baker, everybody's played.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, I get it. Tell me about playing the piano on this track, where every major artist basically, except Prince, and I know that story, but everybody's on this track, and there you are playing the piano. Tell me about it, Greg.
Well, it didn't start out that way. It started out with an idea for a song to try to bring attention to, hunger in African countries. And Quincy commissioned Michael and Lionel, and they wanted to bring Stevie in, but he was a tad late. So
as usual, love you, Stevie. Love you, Stevie.
But he can be on time as well, which is awesome.
I've seen that too.
Yeah, I've seen that too. But Steve came into the picture a bit too late. So Michael and Lionel had essentially written it, and to do a demo of it, Quincy enlisted me, and I believe the rest of the guys that played on the actual track as well.
Yeah.
We did it at a studio called Lionshare, which sadly no longer exists. But anyway, it was me and of course there was this massive camera crew that no one told us about, and we weren't ready for that. But there's like cameras in all of our faces, and I'm sitting at the piano, and all of a sudden Michael and Lionel come in, and then out of nowhere here comes Steve, and it's like, oh, hi, nice to see you. And so I'm sitting there playing the thing, and so Quincy says, well, yeah, let's go over it. And so I'm playing, and just ran down the song for the form of it, and I'm sitting there surrounded by these three titans, all who I've worked with individually, and now we're all together. And it was a pretty surreal moment for me, because I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm playing this song, and all these three guys are standing right in front of me, and there's cameras in my, but it was a wonderful moment.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't know where to start. We've already started. I think I want to start. I've got Q and Michael questions, of course, and Lionel questions. But I was saying to the audience last hour while I was talking to Jim Wallace that you were in the studio here setting up your keyboard. I have never. We're gonna post this on social media. We're gonna post it so you guys can see it. But I've never seen anybody walk in any studio that I've ever hosted in and set their piano up. Here's what I mean by that. Usually there's depending on the size of the studio, there's a piano, there's a baby grand, there's something in the studio.
Or an electric keyboard, some kind of synthesizer.
Or, exactly. Yeah. Or, Stevie, speaking of Stevie, Stevie's come to see me 1,000 times in my career, and I always love every one of them. Yeah. He brings his keyboard, and it sits on his lap, or he sits at the keyboard. Ellis Hall, all kinds of artists have come, piano players, and they brought their thing with them. You came in today and brought in a keyboard in pieces. Yeah, I've never seen anybody piece together.
In this case.
Yeah, so for those watching, you can see. So it fits in this case. So you can travel with it around the world.
Yeah.
No, it's the size of a backpack, basically.
Yeah, it's the size of a small backpack. It's called the PocketPiano.
The PocketPiano. Tell me about it.
Well, this is a masterful invention created by this lovely young man whose name is Josep Bergada, and his company is called PocketPiano. They're based out of Barcelona. And, I first was, made aware of this thing by this other amazing keyboard artist named Jesus Molina, I believe his last name is. And he was advertising this thing, and it's been featured at recent NAMM shows, which are trade shows that feature all new music equipment for the coming year. Mm-hmm. And so since I was touring with the band Toto, part of our European summer tour this past summer included Barcelona. So before I left for the tour, I reached out to Joseph and said, I'd like to meet you, and I'd like to, swing by your headquarters and see if I can get one of these things. And so he replied and said, absolutely. And so when we hit Barcelona on my off day, I went to his humble headquarters in Barcelona, and they presented me with one. It was so sweet.
You are Greg Phillinganes. That's why.
No, they presented it. It was lovely.
How does it sound? Play it.
How does it sound?
Yeah.
Well, you'd be surprised to
Let me hear this
realize that it sounds pretty dang good. Let me see. Wait, it has the nerve to have other sounds in it too. Check this. And watch this. Even this. So lovely. Now, the only drag is the sustain pedal that also comes with this thing. Mine doesn't work. I'm getting a replacement unit.
You don't need it.
No, but it comes with a sustain pedal too, and it's wireless. It's crazy. All this, and they come in these paneled sections of keys, and there's enough for 88 keys.
Watching you roll it out was amazing. He does not have all 88 keys on the desk right now.
No, because they won't fit.
They won't fit, but it's pretty amazing. As is Greg Phillinganes. Greg's in the studio for the hour. Glad I got him here. There's a whole lot to talk about, given all that he has done, all these arranged, all the folks he's played with.
We're gonna need part 2, 3, 4, and 5.
We'll start with part 1 today.
Okay.
His name is Greg Phillinganes. I'm Tavis Smiley. Glad you're listening.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Chevy, All the Things 2024 Truck Season Radio 30, code GWMR0294000.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You'll be able to, or you can even just With impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Before running for state senate, Laura Richardson was named one of the most corrupt members of Congress, guilty on 7 counts of ripping off taxpayers and a pattern of deception trying to cover it up. Richardson is too shady for state senate. For your state senator, frontline nurses, classroom teachers, and Planned Parenthood Advocacy Project support Democrat Michelle Chambers, a champion for abortion rights, higher wages for workers, and more affordable health care. Democrat Michelle Chambers for state senate.
Ad paid for by nurses and educators supporting Chambers for Senate 2024, sponsored by labor and nonprofit environmental and health organizations, Ad committee's top funders, SEIU California State Council, not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
Made fresh daily in the Mert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
So while Miles lets that ride, for you Anita Baker fans, you know the song, right? It's Fairy Tales.
Fairy Tales.
And this is Greg just going, turn it up, Miles. Greg going crazy at the end here. Tell you about this track, Greg.
Oh man, that's fun.
It sounds like fun.
It was a blast. I mean, that's when I was all young and crazy and just adventurous. And fortunately, Anita at that time was very accommodating. She just let it ride,
Yeah, and it rides for a while.
It rides for a while, and it got to the point where she just started giggling.
Yeah,
and you can hear it in the track. But we just had so much fun. It was me, Nathan East, on
love
bass.
Nathan. Yeah, love Nathan.
I mean, it's just. Let's see. I think it was Ricky Lawson on drums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My dearly departed. See, you can hear her.
Yes, Anita laughing. Yeah.
Dearly departed Ricky Lawson on drums, but it was just that was a blast.
Yeah.
It was a blast. She let us get away with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. It is the case that whenever one hears you, they're never going to hear the same thing twice. That's why you do multiple takes, right? So when you hear something like that, when I hear something like that, what amazes me is I know that take you will never do again.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
and there are certain things I wish I could do over in that take as well. But yeah, well, that's the case with everything.
Yeah. You at this point in your career, you still hear stuff that you wish you could do over?
Oh, unbelievable! Absolutely. Stop
it, man.
Every time, absolutely. It never is perfect, But that's the whole thing. Life isn't perfect. We're not perfect, and it's always striving for the best possible situation. Even though it won't be perfect, I just keep striving for the best possible situation. But absolutely, man.
Yeah. So, Miles, cue up. What's the Michael song I was talking about earlier when you walked in?
Billie Jean.
Billie Jean. Cue up Billie Jean. Don't hit it yet. Just cue it up for me. Let me just ask you a broad question here. And I've had the honor of being in you guys' presence a number of times, and of course I know you and consider Q a dear friend of mine as well. But just Q's now 90 plus years old.
One.
Yeah, exactly. I said 90 plus. Just talk to me for a moment here about what it has been like all these years to be in his friend circle and to be on so many projects produced by Quincy Jones.
We don't even have the time to go into the depth of love and respect I have for this man. Yeah. I mean, what he's done for my career and how we were, inextricably tied to each other's lives is just nothing short of a blessing from God. Because I met him twice. Mm-hmm. Right, the first time I met him was in Detroit. I was still in high school, and he was in town for a signing of his new album at the time, which was "You Got a Bad Girl." The "You Got a Bad Girl." I mean, that was when he was in the sexy era. He had the fold-out album, and he was standing there looking all,
GQ.
All player in the black leather outfit,
Yeah.
And the women just lost their minds. But he was in Detroit at a department store for a signing of that record, and I left school early and went down to meet him. And
you were playing already.
I was in bands. I was in bands, and I was getting fairly popular in Detroit at the time.
Right.
But I went down to meet him, and he could not have been more gracious and kind, and the amazing thing is that he still remembers that to this day. He still remembers meeting me in Detroit to this day.
But how surreal is it then to have met him while you were in high school?
Yeah,
and then years later.
Yeah, it was incredibly surreal because this was after I joined Stevie's band, and we're skipping around because there's a lot of stories.
Sure.
But this was after I joined Stevie's band, and I came to L.A. in '75 when you were like 15, I think. But anyway, I came here in '75, and in '76, I believe it was my second and more formal meeting with Quincy. And shortly after that, he invited me to play on a session. So I roll up to A&M Studios to play on a session that he is co-producing with Herb Alpert for this little artist named Billy Eckstein. And it was a single called The Best Thing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I did for Quincy.
Billy E.
A Billy E. single.
Man.
It was bananas.
Yeah. Let me back up for a second because you mentioned Stevie. Again, it's you can't do justice to your stuff in an hour, man. I know this. I know this. But to be from Detroit, and Stevie is from Detroit.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Stevie and that relationship.
Well, here's the thing, man. I remember telling friends of mine in high school that I would eventually play with him. That was the Holy Spirit just fermenting. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I'd seen him only twice in concert in Detroit, and I was mesmerized by him. I had posters of him on my walls and everything, you know. And I just really felt spiritually connected to him. And then the miracle happened, and I have to abbreviate it because we only have an hour, but the miracle happened to where Ricky Lawson, I have to mention my dear friend Ricky Lawson, who was a brilliant drummer and a dear friend. We played in a band together, and he was the kind. You've heard the phrase, so and so will give you the shirt off his back. Ricky Lawson would literally give you the shirt off. This is the kind of friend he was, and he insisted that because he was asked to audition on drums in New York first. By a former band member. And so the night before he left, I was at his place, and I was celebrating with him and supporting him. And he insisted at that time that I play some stuff on a cassette, and he would give it to Stevie. So he goes there. He ends up not getting the gig, but he stayed true to his word to deliver the cassette to his people, and Steve eventually heard it. And then Ricky called me while he was still in New York, and a few days later or whatever, and then he goes, Stevie wants to see you in New York today. So needless to say, I'm running around the house. I mean, I'm getting my clothes together. I'm getting all my stuff together, man. And I'm like, so Stevie wants to see me today. And my mom is getting ready for work, and she's about to leave the house. She goes, what is the matter with you? I said, Stevie wants to see you. She says, okay, well, just make sure you bring clean underwear. Because, that's all mothers do.
That's how mothers do, yeah.
They just want to make sure there's no tracks. So you just have to have clean underwear. So the thing is, so now I go to the thing, and I fly to New York, and I get settled at the hotel, and I go to the original Hit Factory studios in Manhattan. And I'm sitting there on pins and needles, really trying to be cool and hold it together. I'm really trying to be cool because I'm about to meet the man of my dreams. I can't believe. And so hours go by, and finally, man, he shows up with his sister, Renee, who has got him in tow, and he walks in, and he goes, Stevie, the kid's here. And he reaches out and says, hey, nice to meet you. And that single handshake changed my life. And so now Now I'm in the studio with him, and we're just kind of shooting the breeze and everything, and making small talk, and then he decides he's gonna test me, and see if I can keep up with one of his unreleased songs at the time. He just played this thing. He says, see if you can play this. And I go, okay, all right. So it was a tune that would be later known as Spring High that he eventually gave to one Ramsey Lewis. You want to hear it?
Chicago's own. Give it to me.
Here you go. It went like this. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, it's not working. It's not working. Wait. We can't do that. We can't do that. Wait. Hang on. Not the best advertisement for the pocket piano right now. Yeah. Oh, wait. Let's see if I do this. If I switch this.
You're Greg Phillinganes. We'll wait on you.
We'll wait? Okay.
We will wait on you.
You gonna wait? Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. That's a bit of how. That's the first thing I ever learned from Stevie.
What is amazing about that is that all these years later.
All these years later, yeah.
You still remember those chords.
I still remember.
You got all kind of chords in your head.
A million.
And you still remember those chords.
I still remember those, and I still remember certain songs that are still unreleased of his. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So how do you, looking back on it? I said the other day of a particular friend of mine that life is really interesting, especially if you ever experience your hero becoming your friend.
Yeah.
I've had that once in my life where your hero becomes your friend.
It's deep.
How do you process that with Steve?
It's still in process.
Yeah, still in process. Yeah.
Because he is one in a million, man. I mean, we have, first of all, our birthdays are 1 day and 6 years apart. When I discovered that, it was like, and then when he hired me, you have to understand that it was a month before my 19th birthday, but it was a month before his 25th. And do you know what he was working on at 24 and 25?
I know already. Songs in the Key of Life.
Boom.
And you happen to have that T-shirt on.
I happen to have.
He has the T-shirt on today.
Yeah.
Is that like? Okay. I'm gonna get you in trouble here. I'm getting in trouble. I have my list.
Yeah.
Of the top 5 greatest albums ever made. Ever made. And 2 of my top 5 greatest albums ever made feature artists from Detroit.
Okay, so Steve's one of them. Who's the other one?
Songs in the Key of Life.
Yeah.
Aretha, Amazing Grace.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
There's that.
Can't quite argue that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was it like being around this guy when he was working on Songs in the Key of Life?
It was chaotic.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Because you never knew when you'd get called.
Yeah.
And I mean that literally. Because, you'd be in bed, it's like 2, 3 in the morning, all of a sudden, come on down.
Okay, put you on the spot again.
Yeah.
You got your keyboard in front of you.
Yeah.
Give me some of your favorite song on that album. It's hard to choose, I know.
Well, we can start with the 4 that I'm on.
Give me something. Give me something.
Okay.
The 4 that you're on.
The 4 that I'm on.
All
right. So here's one of them. Here's the reason why I'm on this song. I'm on this song because of this reason right here, because I was able to play this. Because the thing is that Stevie wrote the song but when he wrote the song, the bridge part goes like this. Right, so that's what he did.
Yeah.
Crazy Michael Cimbello on guitar, who was a devotee of Pat Martino, came up with this insane line that only a few guitar players can do, much less anybody else. And the line goes like this. All right, here we go. Shoot. Right, so that's what that can. So now we're in the studio. No,
hold that.
Okay.
All right, I'm just watching your fingers.
I know, it's crazy.
Doing this,
I know.
and you're not a spring chicken. You're still talented.
Well, you know.
Your fingers still move that way. Greg Phillinganes is our guest. We'll get back to Songs in the Key of Life, the 4 songs that he's on. I mean, how iconic is that? I mean, you play with Michael and Q and everybody, but you are on Songs in the Key of Life with
crazy.
Stevie.
It's
It is
nuts.
crazy. Greg Phillinganes when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Vice President Kamala Harris is campaigning in the key swing state of Michigan for the 2nd straight day as she and running mate Tim Walz will be in Ann Arbor today. Lyft is being ordered to pay over $2 million in penalties for deceiving drivers about their pay. This week, the Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against Lyft, claiming the company violated federal law by making deceptive claims about how much money drivers could earn per hour. A teenage girl is dead and another is in critical condition after riding on top of a subway car in Queens, New York. Known as subway surfing, the NYPD says the 2 girls were on top of a train when one fell between the subway cars and died. The other was rushed to a hospital in critical condition. And LL Cool J is revealing why his collaborations with Michael Jackson will never be released. In a conversation with Kiss FM, he says the songs he made with the King of Pop just weren't good enough. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month wraps up, remember to update your software to fix security issues that identity thieves exploit to steal personal info. And for comprehensive identity theft protection, choose LifeLock. Start your 30-day free trial today at lifelock.com/cybersafety.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It's a feel-good Monday for the LA sports scene. We start with the Chargers. They improved to 4-3 with a 26-8 win over New Orleans at SoFi. The Chargers defense did not give up a touchdown and held the Saints scoreless in the 4th quarter. The Chargers are at Cleveland next Sunday. The Clippers have won back-to-back road games. After winning Saturday in Denver, they spoiled Golden State's home opener Sunday with a 112-104 win. 23 points, 18 rebounds, and 6 assists for Vika Zubac. James Harden had 23 points, 11 assists, and was 9 for 9 at the free throw line. The 3-0 Lakers begin a 5-game road trip tonight in Phoenix. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts says Shohei Ohtani will be in the lineup tonight for Game 3 in the World Series against the Yankees. Ohtani suffered a partially dislocated left shoulder in Game 2. Games 3, 4, and 5 are in New York. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 in my garage after I overpaid for new blinds. I researched the industry, hired my mom, and 14 years later, we're one of the largest retailers of custom blinds in the U.S. Don't pay too much for new blinds. Go to Blindster.com.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on your every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
All right, so these are, I'll let Greg finish his story in a second. Greg Phillinganes is our guest, in case you just tuned in. Keyboardist, vocalist, master arranger, play with everybody. So how cool is it to be on not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 tracks on the greatest album perhaps ever made, Songs in the Key of Life. The 4 songs are, Greg.
Yes.
Contusion.
That's what you're hearing right now.
Yeah, right. Saturn.
Yeah. Joy Inside My Tears.
Joy Inside My Tears, and the song for his baby.
Isn't She Lovely?
Isn't She Lovely? Mm-hmm. And you're on all 4 of them.
I'm on all 4.
I hate you. All right, so finish your story.
Right, so on Contusion on this track, right, the only reason why I'm on it is because of the bridge part that I played before the break, you know, and the fact that Michael Cimbello came up with that. And I have to put the disclaimer that Steve actually really hates when I tell this story, but... Okay. See that? You hear that line right there?
Yeah.
That's the line. He couldn't play it. So I'm in the room and I go, well, I can. He says, okay, you do it. And that's why I'm on this song. But the last time I spoke to Steve was before he went out for his tour.
Yeah.
And he said, look, man, I'm going to get that line. I said, I know you will. Because the thing at the time.
At this age, he's still trying to do it.
No, he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
Yeah.
He's going to. But see, and the reason why I know he's in much better shape to do it now is because when I first met him, he rarely used his thumbs.
Yeah.
Particularly his right thumb. And that's like the first thing I noticed when I saw him play up close. I go, dude, you got to use your thumb. And he would have his thumb like down here on the side of the key, and he'd just play like that. and not use his thumb. I go, dude, there's 5 for a reason. And, so you cannot do that line without your thumb.
Yeah.
You cannot do it. It's
Yeah.
impossible. So he vowed that he was going to get the line.
I'm sure there are many answers to this question, but I'm trying to manage the time that we do have today.
Mm.
What are one or two of the takeaways that you've held on to all these years from being exposed to and playing with Stevie Wonder so early in your career?
Oh, that's easy. The first thing I learned from spending hours with him and being a part of Wonder Love, because at that time
that's a great band name, by the way.
I know, it's right. It's great.
I love the Raylettes.
Yeah.
I love Wonder Love.
Well,
I love,
to be a Raylette, you had to.
I let Ray. I get it. Yeah. I love Wonder Love, and I love Berry Gordy. Love Unlimited Orchestra.
Mhm.
Just a great name, man. Love Unlimited. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But
Wonder Love, you were saying.
being with Wonder Love, which was basically an extension of a lot of Steve's ideas, because we'd spend hours just playing stuff.
Yeah.
And playing ideas of his, and going through different musical genres. And the thing I learned primarily from that experience in the 4 years that I was with him was the understanding how different genres work, understanding the mechanics and the composition of different genres. In other words, what makes reggae reggae?
Mm-hmm.
What makes gospel gospel? What makes rock rock? What makes the blues the blues? And so we'd play these different styles, and I learned the elements and the components of those different genres, so that they could be played with authenticity.
Mm-hmm. What is it? You see, now you're getting philosophical on me, Professor Phillinganes. What does it mean to play authentically?
Well, in other words, if you're going to play a country tune, and this is very, very basic. If you're going to play a country song, like particularly more older school sounding country songs, let's see. If you played a song and the chords were C to F to G to C, right? Well, you can just play those chords. You can go like, or you can go. So you learn the elements of that genre, and then you can incorporate them in your playing, as opposed to gospel, which would be.
Since you're playing, ooh, that sounds good.
That's those are the elements that would be in gospel music.
To be authentic with it.
Yeah, to be authentic with it.
All right, so let me just do this right quick. Since you went there, so I'm raised in a black church, Pentecostal church, and so what you just did resonated with me.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. Of all the stuff that I've seen you do, I don't know that I've ever experienced a lot of gospel. But you had to be raised in a black church. And you're from Detroit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I've incorporated what I've learned from gospel in basically everything I do. When I was with Eric Clapton,
right,
we gospeled him up.
And what did you learn from gospel?
Oh, I learned, the elements of what gives it that particular sound. And first of all, there are other guys who could wipe the floor with me. Let me just say that right now. But what I've learned, I just have infused it in all of the pop music and rock music that I've been a part of, and you can hear it. You can hear it.
Yeah.
From when I was working with Eric Clapton to the stuff with Quincy, to George Benson, whoever. It's in there. Yeah. Elements of it are in there.
It provides. I mean, you're the musician, not me, but it provides a sense of soul for me.
For sure.
Me, yeah.
Yeah.
When I hear it, I hear it.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're playing, but when I hear those
You hear it,
chords,
yeah.
when I hear those chords,
Yeah.
oh, that's black church right there.
And that was fluent with artists like Ray.
Yeah.
Who infused gospel and country.
Oh yeah.
As well as blues.
Caught hell for it, but did it anyway.
Yeah, but it did it anyway, and
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah.
So kids, Beyonce is not the first one to do that.
Yeah.
Go back and Google Ray Charles. And so, that's been with me.
Yeah. All right, so we've talked about Quincy.
Mm.
We just talked about Eric Clapton.
Mm.
We talked about Anita.
Mm.
Talked about Stevie.
Mm.
We haven't talked about really the King of Pop yet.
Mm.
So Miles, give me some Michael, and when we come forward,
Mm-hmm.
we will let Greg Phillinganes unload on what it's like working with MJ. You're listening to Greg Phillinganes on Tavis Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your flag. Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
One of the advantages to being my board op, if you're talented, and Miles Lowe, my board op, happens to be talented.
Come on, Miles.
Is that I will allow him
different than this. Mm-hmm. You know wait a minute. Is this on? Okay, here we go. So. Hey. Can I do that? Yeah. All right, he pulled it up. He pulled it up.
Go, Miles, go.
Oh my goodness, he pulled it up. Oh my goodness.
I'm a real fan, man.
Oh my goodness.
He's a real fan.
This is closer to what it sounded like originally, and Quincy commissioned me to produce it, right? So I thought, right, I'll just do this. I mean, I got like Sheila E. to play percussion and all, because it was more of a Latin flavor, right? And I thought this is what he wanted to do, right?
And what happened?
And Quincy heard it and went, no. That's pretty much all he said. Just said no.
Yeah.
And the reason why it goes back to a story from a long time ago. See, you hear how that's all very busy?
Yeah.
It sounds kind of cute, but no. There's another story that's related to this, and it has to do with the brilliant arranger Neil Hefti, right? Neil Hefti was from the 50s and 60s, and he was a brilliant arranger, and but he's probably most famous for the Batman theme song. But anyway,
it's a good one though.
Yeah. But he was a brilliant arranger, and back in the day, he was one of many arrangers who wanted to get their arrangements to Basie, right? Because you didn't make it unless Count Basie did one of your arrangements, right? So he was in line to impress Basie, and he had this tune called "Little Darlin'," right? Mm-hmm. And so "Little Darlin'," it originally was like a it went like that, right? It was that fast, and Count Basie heard it and went, no. He said, "You're missing the whole essence of the thing. You missed out. You don't even understand how sexy this is." So what does Basie do? He goes, "No, we're gonna break it down." So. Yeah. See how sexy it is?
I get it.
That was the genius of Basie. So
I get it.
Now the genius of Quincy was like, no, we have to slow this down and make it sexy, because Quincy's goal was to establish Michael as an adult.
Yeah.
And to make him sexy. And so he lowered the key. I mean, that was the key that we ended up doing it, but he lowered the key so, you would hear the maturity in Michael's voice. So when we do like... Now it's like a completely different setting, and when I caught on to that concept, I went, oh, I get it. So then we put all the lush synthesizers on top of it, and it turned out to what it is now.
It worked because Miles loves it, and that's whole another generation.
Yeah, Miles loves it. Miles loves it, and the girls love it.
There you go. That's more important.
Yeah.
I remember the moment with Greg Phillinganes when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom. If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found BenefitsCheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. BenefitsCheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at WalkGoodLA. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
We got 4 minutes left in this conversation. Greg Phillinganes told us an hour ago you're going to need part 2, part 3, 4, 5,
and 6.
He didn't lie.
That's right.
He didn't lie. We're just scratching the surface of all that he has done with everybody around. Well, not everybody, because everybody doesn't deserve Greg Phillinganes.
Oh, stop it.
But these artists at this level and this stature, Stevie, Michael, Clapton, etc. So right
John
now,
Mayer.
John Mayer.
Yeah.
So right now you're touring. You're doing 2 tours at the same time?
Kind of.
So you're doing Toto and David Gilmour.
Yeah.
How are you doing this?
Oh, Lord.
And what's your wife say about this?
Well,
never mind.
That's the next hour. She's okay with it now, but trust me, it was a transition for all of us, me and my kids, you know. Yeah. Right. So Steve Lukather, the only original member of Toto, at the beginning of the year, January 2nd, asked me to come back to the band because I had been with them before for 5 years in the early 2000s. Right. And I was like, oh, I didn't expect my year to start out this way, so okay, sure. So that was January 2nd. Exactly 2 weeks from January 2nd, which was January 16th, I get an email from David Gilmour's manager asking me about later on this year. And I'm like, what? I thought this guy retired.
Yeah.
So I called Luke and I said, oh, bro, Luke, you got to help me out, man. It's David Gilmour. I thought he retired. So it worked out. And just to give you a snippet of the schedule here, September 1st, last September 1st, we played the Hollywood Bowl with Toto. Right. September 2nd, I was on a plane to England to start rehearsals with David Gilmour. We rehearsed most of that month. Started the tour in Rome. We did 6 shows at Circus Maximus, flew to London, did 6 shows at Royal Albert Hall, came here. We did our first LA show at the Intuit Dome last Friday, and tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, we are at the Hollywood Bowl.
Again.
If you like David Gilmour, if you like Pink Floyd, this is the better half of Pink Floyd. Come out and see us because it's bananas.
Yeah, how you're managing that, I do not know.
By the grace of God, because it's crazy, man. It's nuts.
And I now know, as if I didn't know before, but I now know that Greg Phillinganes loves me, because in the midst of all that, he squeezed out an hour to come in studio. No,
absolutely.
I love you back.
I love you right back.
And I appreciate you. That's part 1.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for part 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
There you go.
Whenever Greg can squeeze us back in his schedule again, Greg Phillinganes is a bad boy, and he has lived just well, you know this, just an amazing life, man.
Oh,
all the
every
experiences
day.
you've had.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
I'm telling you.
Anyway.
Because
all
of
right.
him.
Yeah, because of him.
That's right.
Quincy Jones, love that guy.
Come on, Quincy.
All right, just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in to Tavis Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.
Boom.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Vice President Kamala Harris is campaigning in the key swing state of Michigan for the 2nd straight day as she and running mate Tim Walz will be in Ann Arbor today.